today I am doing my Chanel collection and overall brand review. I love seeing other people's Chanel collections. Obviously, Chanel is a luxury brand, but they do produce a lot of products. They have such a massive product range that there's always such an incredible variety of items that people have. So it's always really interesting to see what other people go for, why they went for them, and the story behind them. I would like to add that I have been collecting Chanel since I was probably as young as about 14, because my mum was a huge Chanel fan. So I used to go shopping with her and I'd get the odd little bits here and there. So I know that sounds ridiculous, but it has always kind of been in my psyche, I guess. So Chanel's always just been a brand that I've always been aware of. So my collection is quite big. It is not as big as other people's by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm happy with it. Anyway, I'm going to kind of try and divide it into categories. So we're going to start with bags, then move into shoes, then accessories, and then I'm going to do ready to wear. So kicking off, I think I'm going to do this bag first. This wasn't my first Chanel handbag, but it was the first Chanel handbag I ever bought myself with my own money. And I bought it when I was at university. I think I was in my first year, second term, and I used my student loan to buy it. I used my maintenance loan to pay for it. Now, nobody should ever do that. That is not a smart thing to do, because I assure you, I could not eat for the entire term. I think my maintenance loan, I think I got about £1,500 a term, and this bag was $980 at the time. So it was a huge chunk of money. So I don't advise anybody ever does such a thing. But I still wear it to this day, and I would never part with it because of the sentimental value. And I definitely, over the years, have got my value for money out of it. This has probably gone down to like a penny a wear. I've worn it so much. I also used to have the tan one as well in this style, but I sold that on Vestiaire about 6 months ago. But this one I would never let go of. And then I'm going to show you, over the years, I've sold quite a few of my Chanel bags that my parents had bought me over the years, just because my style had changed. And when I was a student and kind of in my early 20s, when I had no money, I was much more, I guess I didn't really care as much. Now I wouldn't part with things because I'm much more sentimental. But this is one of the few bags that I've actually managed to keep. Now, you don't see this bag very often. This is very, very, very limited. And it's the Union Jack bag. And it's got a matte gold hardware with the red chain. And I absolutely love it. A couple of times I've thought about parting with it, but I think in the end, it's such a special piece. And I've used it, I use it whenever the World Cup is on. When the Olympics was in London in 2012, I used it the entire time because I was trying to be patriotic. I use it at Wimbledon. Like, I try and use it when I want to be patriotic. And then I'm kind of going to show you these three at the same time, just because they're all in the same family. So I've got this pink one, which I bought pre-loved from Sign of the Times, which I actually recently did a video about Sign of the Times. I'll link it below so you can watch it. But basically it's a pre-loved luxury store. This is just a pink fabric flat bag, classic flat, and it's got the inner flap there. Really sweet, and I bought it because I thought it was a really good price. I think I paid £850 for it, which I thought didn't seem like a lot, and I feel like a pink Chanel is just the dream. So but actually it probably doesn't get as much wear as it should, but I do really like it. It is pretty. And then these two were both gifts from my mum. They were both in her wardrobe and she never wore them, so she gave them to me. This white one, which I never know if this is the jumbo or the maxi, maybe someone can tell me in the comments. It's not the biggest size. It's just a size up from the classic. This is my life. It's so many poo bags in here, just basically piles and piles of poo bags for my dog Simba. I've worn it so much, it's absolutely filthy. The corners are tired and marked. White is not an easy colour, so it will get ruined. The back is pretty mucky, but you know what? It's been loved and I've enjoyed it, and I will continue to enjoy it. So I don't mind that it's not in great condition. I don't buy my bags for investment. I think on YouTube you hear a lot of luxury YouTubers talking about, think about the longevity in terms of you know, will the price go up? Will the price stay the same? Whereas I kind of feel like if you love it, use it and don't worry about whether it's in perfect condition and good for resale or not. You should just enjoy it. And then this little one, I love this bag. This is the perfect going out bag because it's really very, very, very spacious inside and you can fit a lot. And it's super hardy. You know, I used to take this on like big nights out where I would be very much worse for wear by the end of the night and I'd be throwing it around and wouldn't care. And it's still pretty much as good as new. And then the last Chanel bag I've got is this one, which is a vintage backpack. I bought this off Vestiaire quite a few years ago now, probably 4 years ago. And the prices of these bags, these sac de jours, has absolutely skyrocketed. They've just gone crazy. I would recommend it. I think it's a really, really sweet bag, but I know that Chanel has since I brought this, they've definitely done newer versions of the backpack, but I still think this is the iconic design. I really like it. It fits a lot. Personally, I'm not a fan of wearing things on my back, so I very rarely wear it as a backpack. I normally just sling it over the shoulder or carry it like this, kind of in front of me. But yeah, really, really cute. I mean, if I was having said, you know, never think too much, don't buy just for the investment reason, this probably was a really good investment because the prices, I think these go for double now what I paid for it. But I'm not ready to part with it. I still really love it. And now I am swiftly going to move on to shoes. So I'm so embarrassed to show the state of these, but I think that it's only fair to show them because it's real and it shows how much I do wear my things and do enjoy my things. So this is my Chanel ballet pumps. I have a black patent pair and I have the white pair with a patent navy blue toe cap. And you can see, I mean, just look at the state of these. They are just so scruffy. I've worn them to absolute death. And I've actually had them re-heeled recently because I couldn't wear them. The heels were so ground, so down. But it just goes to show that, you know, they do last. You can get wear out of them. I don't just buy these things and then have them sitting in the cupboard. I really enjoy my items. I really, really wear them and love them and cherish them. And yes, I wear them to death. But, you know, that was the point otherwise. Anyway, because I loved those so, so much, I recently bought myself fresh pairs. So I now have an all white pair and then an all black pair. This one has the patent toe cap. This one also has the patent toe cap, so that's quite nice. I have to say though, since I've repurchased them, I've worn them less. I don't know why that is, but I wear the black pair more than I wear the white pair. I think these are actually a little bit too small as well, which is a bit of an issue. I must have had very skinny feet that day. The other thing that I want to say about these is, I'm going to show you on this because I think it'll be easier to see against the white than on the black. And this may seem like a really obvious thing to people, but obviously it was not obvious to me, is that don't undo the bows. Because once you undo the bows on the ballet pumps, they never look like this again. They literally, you can never get them to look as perfect as when they come out of the store. So never undo the bows because they end up looking really, really scruffy. So maybe that's obvious to people, but I thought that was quite a good tip. And then the other shoes I have, and I'm going to again show them at the same time, is I've got the espadrilles, which I know people go crazy for these shoes. Personally, I actually bought them twice. I bought the classic pair with just the leather CC, and I had them in my wardrobe in the box for about 6 months. And then I sold them because I was like, I'm just not going to wear them. And then I bought this pair. And I've worn them. You know, the leathers are really soft, but I don't know, your feet get really sticky inside them and they wear really, really quickly and they're just not for me. I know lots of people love them, so it's not that I'm criticizing the shoe because I know that it's a popular design, they're just not for me. And then another design which I've been quite critical of is the Chanel slingback. Now I did a full review of these on the blog and I basically said I didn't like them. And the reason I said I didn't like them was because the slingback constantly fell down on me. Every time I walked, the slingback fell down off the ankle. And it was a real issue. I have since put a gel insole in there, and that helps. That really, really helps in keeping my foot kind of secure. But since I've written that blog post, to be fair to these shoes, I have worn them an awful lot. They've had a lot of wear. So although I was like, I don't really like them, I did get my value for money out of them. So they've obviously grown on me. The other thing I have to tell you about is here, I don't know if you can see, but here it's been like chewed. And that is because, and then I've had to have it repaired here. And that is because my mum's dog, not my dog, because Simba would never do such a thing, chewed through this leather strap. So basically, the whole way through. He chewed through the whole way through, so I had to have it repaired. And actually, the weird thing is, I think since I've had them repaired, and since he chewed through them, I've actually loved them more. So, I don't know, maybe I don't know why that is, but I've worn them more since I've had them repaired. Okay, now I'm going to move into my accessories. This is a really old piece, but I feel like Baker Boy caps have really come back into fashion. I know Dior has brought quite a few out, and I think even Chanel has done it. This is a little tweed hat that I literally have not worn for years, but I think I'm going to start wearing it again. I don't know, what do you think? I'm not sure if I'm a hat person, but let me know. And then I've got this belt, which I'm fairly sure I stole from my mum's wardrobe and then never gave it back many, many years ago, and I've had it for ages. I used to wear this during my uni days a lot, back in the day when like low slung trousers and skirts were a thing, and I would wear this on my hips and look really good. I haven't worn it for a while, to be honest. If I'm going to wear a belt, I tend to wear the Hermes H belts because A, they fit through jean loops, and B, I like that the Hermes ones are reversible, so you get two belts, and then you could just change the buckle. So they're a bit more versatile than this one. So I haven't worn that one for a while, but maybe I'll start. And then staying on the belt theme, I probably should have untangled these before I started this video, but I've got a couple of the Chanel chain belts. I've got this one here, which is with the white CC, and then I've got the same, but with the black CC. So you can see there, I've got the black. And I've actually recently had a lot of wear out of these. I'm going to add in some pictures of all the different ways I've worn them. I've worn them as belts, I've worn them as long necklaces, I've worn them as chokers, I've worn them like around my waist, on my hips. Like these have been really, really versatile. And actually you can pick these up in a lot of pre-loved stores for not that much money. I think about maybe £300 or something. And I really, really recommend them. Really versatile. They're a belt, they're necklaces. You could even, like, if you wanted to put them around a bag or something, you could do that. So I definitely recommend those chain belts. And then this bracelet, my mum bought me for Valentine's Day when I was still at school. So I must have been about 17. And it's a little Chanel CC with the pink and white crystals on. Just really sweet. I never wear it, but it's lovely and sentimental. And then this, for some reason, this necklace I've put in a Dior pouch. I don't know where the Chanel box has gone, but obviously this was, at the time, I think I bought this 5 years ago, was such a spendy purchase. I think these, I paid like £800 for it, which that was a lot of money. I was only a few years into really properly working, so I wasn't earning loads and loads of money, and that was a big, big spend for me. But I wore it every single day. I wore it with everything. It looked great with a casual pair, like a jeans and a shirt, being casual. It looked great like in a super kind of officey look. It looked, whatever I wore it with, it looked fantastic with. Now I don't wear it anymore. I feel like it's, I don't know, I don't know. You know when you wear something too much and you associate it with that part of your life? So that's kind of how I feel about this. Like every time I put it on, I'm like, no, I don't like it. But at the time, it was a really great purchase. And these have gone up in price considerably. So I'm glad I bought it then rather than buy it now when they're like double the price. So that's my Chanel pearl. And I feel like Chanel pearls are a kind of a classic. If you're going to have a piece of jewellery, a Chanel pearl necklace is probably the one to get. And now we're finally on the last section, and that is Chanel ready to wear. So I'm going to show you a few bits of my Chanel clothing, which I have over here. This is my first ever Chanel jacket, and my mum gave it to me. It came out of her wardrobe, and it's I wore it a lot, actually. She gave it to me when I was still at university, and I used to wear it. I used to wear it to university, which is ridiculous, but you know, at least it got worn and loved. It's got a slight green sheen to it, and it's got a slight sparkle running through it, and it's nice because it's a bit more of a boxy shape. It's quite a cool kind of shape to it. It's not super fitted, and I kind of like that it's a bit looser and a bit freer. So that's quite a special piece. And then a couple of years ago, my mum gave me this little gold Chanel cardigan. Unfortunately, it is too small for me, so I never wear it, but I love it. It's very pretty. Sometimes I wear it wrapped around my waist, which is a bit ridiculous. But, you know, otherwise it just wouldn't get worn at all. So that's really pretty gold. Again, it's got like the sparkly flecks that run through it. So this piece, again, is pre-loved. As you've probably gathered, I do buy quite a few items pre-loved, particularly when it comes to my luxury items. I got this from Decades, which is in West Hollywood in LA. Now, it's super famous. I think they even had their own reality TV show. But because it's quite well known, it can be on the pricey side. But I think the two pieces that I bought from them were really good value. I was really impressed. And this is one of them. It's a pink tweed, almost bomber jacket style, and it's got the gold buttons. It's very, very 80s. You can even see by the label that it's kind of got a bit of an 80s vibe to it. But I really like it. It's got pink lining. I've worn it quite a lot. It looks amazing with denim. But the star piece that I got from Decades is this, which is absolutely gorgeous. It is a full-length cream tweed skirt with a fishtail back. I don't know if you can see that, but it does fishtail, and it's got a little bit of netting on the back, and then it's got all this beautiful pearl embellishment. I actually bought this for my 30th birthday, but didn't end up wearing it because it was just a little bit too formal for what I decided to do to celebrate. But I absolutely love it, and I am still looking for an occasion to wear it. It's beautiful. I think actually this is quite possibly, of all my Chanel pieces, my very, very favourite thing that I own. And then staying on that pre-loved theme, I bought this, and this is probably this and the next jacket I'm about to show you are probably my most recent Chanel purchases. I bought it from Sign of the Times. It is 100% cashmere. This is a full-length cardigan, and it is so warm. I have to say, whenever I put it on, I feel like I look a little bit like a granny in it, but to be honest, I don't care. It keeps me warm, and sometimes you want to be granny-like and warm rather than looking amazing and freezing cold. So that was, and I think I paid $700, I want to say, for this, or $800 for this, but it's 100% cashmere, so it is a really good quality piece, and that would probably have been like £4,000 in the store. And on the same trip, I bought this incredible jacket, which I absolutely love. It's brand new. It still has the tag on it. I have worn it, but I've just kept the tag on. And it's got this sort of quilted plastic over the front and back, and then it's 100% wool. The only issue with this is it is quite stiff. The wool is very, very stiff, but the other side to that is it means that you really get the most incredible shape when you wear it. I absolutely love this. This was expensive. I think even, the fact that I was buying it pre-loved, although it was brand new with tags, I think I paid $1,250 for it. That was a big purchase, but I love it. I don't regret it. I think it's amazing. It's such a cool statement piece. So really enjoy wearing that. So that is my entire Chanel collection. I did also promise that I would do a little bit of a brand review. So I'm going to talk through a few things that I recommend buying, which items I recommend buying from Chanel, and which items are best bought pre-loved. Now, obviously, I'm always going to say go pre-loved because I've picked up so many amazing pieces secondhand. You don't have to go into a Chanel boutique and spend tens of thousands of pounds on a jacket. You can pick up ready-to-wear jackets like this one, for example, for around the £1,000 mark, or this one. I mean, I see Chanel jackets similar to these for £700, but if you bought them from a boutique, you're going to be paying minimum 3 times that. So ready to wear, I always suggest going pre-loved. If you don't, I mean, some people don't like secondhand clothes. Personally, I don't have a problem with it if the condition is good, but yeah, you can really save your money by going pre-loved. Handbags, you save less going pre-loved. There are so many fakes out there that I personally would rather go into a store. Having said that, there are some great stores which do authentication and you know are totally legit, but then you are still paying a premium for that. So you're probably only paying for a good quality classic Chanel flap pre-loved, you're probably only paying maybe £500 less than you would in store. Now, £500 is a big saving, but there is something really magical about going into a store and buying your first Chanel handbag. I remember that occasion for me, and I'll never forget it. So, you know, it comes down to personal preference. In terms of the jewellery, I really think these are worthy investments. I know I said that I don't wear mine very much anymore, but if you ever come by the opportunity to get a Chanel necklace, one of these kind of long pearl necklaces, they're such classic pieces, and they're kind of some of their more timeless pieces that perhaps isn't as obvious as carrying a Chanel bag, and it's a little bit cheaper as well, but you still, it's classy, it's classic, it's Chanel. Like, you can't go wrong with one of these, and they're a lot of money for what they are, but you know, it's Chanel. It's Chanel. That's an excuse for everything. It's Chanel. Shoe-wise, obviously, I like the ballet pump, much more so than either the espadrilles or the slingbacks. This is my personal favourite. I don't have a pair of Chanel trainers, but I know that people love them and swear by them and say they're really comfortable. But I think this is if you only want to spend the £400 mark, pick up a pair of ballet pumps, absolutely classic. You saw the state of my old ones, but I have had them re-heeled and I can still wear them. I don't mind that they look scruffy, personally. I think they just look loved. So, and those are years old. In fact, these ones, which are really scruffy, are probably, let me think, these are probably 14 years old. So, you know, they're not doing badly. And I would still happily wear them. So I think that's, if you're on a little bit of a tighter budget, buy a pair of Chanel ballet pumps. I think I have talked enough. This video is probably going to be so long. So I'm going to stop there. But if you do have any questions about Chanel, about any of my pieces, or if you're interested in just knowing a bit more about Chanel, as I said, I've kind of grown up with it. My mum was a big fan, and so she's taught me a lot. So hopefully I might be able to be helpful, and if I can be, I would love to be. So yeah, feel free to ask me questions. If you would like to see more brand reviews and sort of luxury collections, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, and do subscribe for more videos from me. And I'll see you next time. Bye!